G'day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Callum, again from Melbourne, Australia. Today I'm going to give you a bit of talk about what will happen after we die as a human. So that's an interesting topic, I think. So let's say, according to what Lord Buddha preached, associated with this planet, in this habitable planetary system, what we call as a Chakravata, and there are 31 realms. So out of these 31, there are 4 bad realms and 27 good realms. So you have to keep it in mind that the words are used good and bad, they are comparatively. So what Lord Buddha preached us was to get out of any one of these realms, because none of these gives us happiness or any satisfaction or anything. So ultimately it gives us suffering and more suffering and more suffering. If there's any place which or where Buddha sees that gives us a happiness and the everlasting happiness, so he might say, hey, you don't have to try to get out of these worlds, 31 realms, but try to be on that place. So it gives you everlasting happiness. But because he didn't see a place like that, so he preached us with all kindness to get out of these places, and try to attain Nibbana. All right, back to the topic. So out of these 31 realms, so 4 are bad realms and then 27 are good realms. So what are these bad realms? The lowest point, here comes the hell, and then after that the Asura world, the Preta world, and the animal world, and the human world, and then 6 Deva worlds and 16 Rupa worlds, and on top of that 4 Arupa worlds. When we go back to that lowest 4, so we understand that, okay, so we never seen a hell or Asura world or Preta world, but we have seen the animal world. When you search in the internet a road in one of these third world countries, can you see that the stray dogs and stray animals, then how much they're suffering, no food, injured, and no help at all, and they're suffering, okay, in huge time, a big time. So if that animal world, what we can see, the suffering is that much, can we just imagine how much will be the suffering in one of these Preta worlds, the Asura worlds, and especially in the hell? Okay, I will leave it with you to do a bit of a research on that. Well, let's talk about the other ones, then human world, and then 6 Deva worlds, 16 Arupa worlds, and then 16 Rupa worlds and the 4 Arupa worlds. So out of those 31, again 4 are bad, 27 are good comparatively. Okay, all right. Let's come back to the topic. In Manusachuti Sutta, Buddha said he took some sand onto his thumbnail and showed that to the monks and asked monks, hey monks, what do you think about the amount of sand on my thumbnail? Is that the bigger amount, or the amount of sand in the earth is the bigger? So monks replied, Honorable Sir, the amount of sand on your thumbnail is utterly negligible when you compare to the amount of sand in the earth. So Buddha said, yes, that's right. So that's what I wanted to explain you. And I took that example to show you, once somebody dies as a human, the probability of becoming another human in next birth is like the amount of sand on my thumbnail. The probability of that human to be reborn in one of these bad realms is like the amount of sand in the earth. Okay, let's do a bit of a calculation. When you weigh this amount of sand on my thumbnail and divide that by the weight of the earth and multiply by 100, so that's how we get the probability. Yeah. So what will be the answer? It's like 0. Million zeros or billion zeros and then something. I will leave it with you to do a bit of research. Okay, that much of probability you and me have to be reborn in one of these 27 good realms, so-called, and that huge probability goes to be reborn in one of these bad realms. Just imagine, Buddha doesn't say anything for the sake of saying, and he sees, he understands, he realizes, and then expresses that to the world. So what he says is that's what exactly going to happen. So there's no other ways. So what you and me have to understand is what he said is the reality. So if somebody dies, this much of probability goes back to that person to be reborn in one of these good realms, and the earth-like probability goes to be reborn in one of these bad realms. Okay, so now we are going to then do a bit of another analysis of this amount of sand. Okay, so in this sand, take this. So this amount of sand represents 27 good realms. Okay, with that 0. billions zeros plus some and then something, with that probability is going to this sand. Okay, this represents 27 worlds. Out of these 27 worlds, there are 20 Brahma worlds, 16 Rupa and 4 Arupa worlds. So only people who have Aradhanas can go to those 20 worlds. If you and me don't have those Aradhanas, what left with us is one human world and 6 Deva worlds. Okay, so you have to then divide this amount into 27 portions and again remove 20 of them, and the 6 portions left on my thumbnail is a probability you and me have to be reborn in one of these good realms, 7 of these good realms. What will happen if we are not on this thumbnail? As I explained you before, a huge probability goes to the amount of sand in the earth, and that probability is for what? For a human to be reborn in one of these bad realms. So you have to understand, if you are not on these 7 portions, as soon as you die, you're going to be reborn in one of those 4 bad realms. That's the reality. Why? Because that was what Buddha said. Okay, so you and me have to understand the reality, and we have to follow what Buddha says, the Arashtangika marga, or the middle way, what you call, and we'll talk about that later. But now you know what is going to happen if you are not on these 7 portions. All right, that's it for now, and I hope you understand something, and hope you grab something out of this speech, and you may attain Nibbana. Thank you.